Hii ni Tech na Msangi ya jishinde.com.
Welcome to day 22 of 30 days of AL, and today we are going to enqueue a background task because it creates and queues a background task that runs the specified code unit without UI in a read-only child session of the page session. If the task completes successfully, the OnPageBackgroundTaskCompleted trigger is invoked. If an error occurs, the OnPageBackgroundTaskError trigger is invoked. If the page is closed before the task completes, or the page record ID on the task changed, the task is cancelled. So remember, let's repeat that. If the page is closed before this task completes, or the page record ID on the task changed, the task is cancelled. So this will only run as long as the current page is open, the current record is open. That's why it's important that the ID of the current record of the page remains static after the enqueue background task method call is made, and while the background task is running. Otherwise, the task will be cancelled, remember? So for this reason, Microsoft recommends that we don't enqueue the background task from the open page or on validate triggers. Instead, we should only use the onAfterGet current record trigger because it will make sure that the current record of the page will remain static. So let me call the current page.enqueue background task. And here we need some parameters. The first one is the task ID. So task ID, we just define an integer. Let me say the task ID will be an integer and our first variable. Remember, I have set it as a global variable for some reason because we will need it during what is it called, this one? When we trigger the on page background task completed. When the task has been completed, we'll need to use this task ID to verify that the task ID is the same as the one that was passed. To verify that this is the same task ID that will be returned as by the on page background completed trigger. These names on page background task completed trigger. Yes. So the next variable that we need to define is a code unit. Remember, the page background will be run on the codeunit.run trigger. And for us, our code unit will be the 30 days of AL code unit. The other thing is parameters, a dictionary. We can be able to pass parameters in form of a dictionary of text. So the parameter can be passed, and I have defined here a parameter. You can even pass a blank parameters, no harm. But I'd prefer to pass the parameter, let me say, Tech na Msangi jishinde.com. Let me just pass that. We might not use it, but we'll see. We'll try and fix it somewhere if we are interested. Okay. And finally, we need to pass the timeout. Okay, we are not yet done here. Okay, these other parameters are optional, but you can still pass the timeout. For how long do I need the maximum time that the page background task should run? So that is 2000 milliseconds, that's 2 seconds. So let me say, is it 5000? Let me work with 5000 to give it more time. And then, okay, let's look at page background task error level, the final parameter of calling the enqueue background task. So the option is 1. There's error, ignore, or warning. So the error means error occurring in page background task is displayed as a normal error in the client. This is the default value. So you can be explicit and say you want this page background task to display an error in case there is a problem. We want to solve the problem. The second one is the warning. So the error occurring in the page background task is displayed as a warning in the client. Note, any error thrown in the onCompletion trigger will ignore this value and will be displayed in the client as a normal error. And the final one is ignore. We say that the error occurring in the page background task is not displayed in the client. Any error thrown in completion trigger will ignore this value and will be displayed in the client as a normal error. So those are the three options, and you can choose whichever you want based on your use case. You could ignore or send a warning depending on the severity or the importance of the values that you are trying to load in your page background task. So that's it for the Enqueue background task. In the next video, we will now go to this code unit in the onRun trigger and be able to now load the background task that we want. We'd like now to act on this particular page background task and return our value that we have loaded in form of a dictionary of text. What we'll do there is display the current time. That is something that changes. The current time will be displayed from the page background task. So that's it for this video. I will see you in day 23 of 30 days of AL.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one.